It's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, thank you to those of you that were with me last night. Last night, there was quite a few of you with me when we were talking about the verdict in the Rachel Marine case, and Victor the Viper, that horrible, horrible man that took Rachel Marine from this earth, has been found guilty, and we're just waiting for his sentencing. And then just before I went to bed, so that meant that I stayed up a lot later. Right, I need to do this a different way. Now, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I was up covering that. I also had a couple of vodkas to celebrate, so my head's a little bit woolly. Anyway, bright and breezy this morning. Just before I finished the live last night, I saw this news about Samantha Murphy. I was going to go back on and do another live, but it literally was, for me, the middle of the night or the early morning. So I thought, no, I'll go to bed. I'll get up bright and early and talk about it. Of course, I overslept, but here I am now. So it is 8:36 in Spain, in Europe. My name's Vicky Marie. I talk about true crime or anything else that might be interesting for people. We'd like to tell the victims' stories with respect. Okay, just want to say my thanks before I get going. Just very quickly, thank you all for watching, for liking, subscribing. Thank you for caring about Samantha. If you're watching this video, because like me, like a lot of us, this is another case that we've been following for a long, long time. And someone has been arrested for the murder of Samantha, but Samantha's remains have not been found. And the trial of the person who was arrested, who we're going to look at in a minute, is coming up. And now, is he talking finally at last? Or was he already talking, but we just weren't told about it? That's what we're going to talk about. There have been some developments, which, it seems like a long time since we've heard anything. The Australian police are very, very tight-lipped, aren't they? Because obviously it's coming up to the trial. They don't want to prejudice any trial. They don't have a body, though they have apparently loads and loads of digital evidence. But they actually don't have a body. So anyway, thank you for sticking with this case. We're going to follow it right through to the end, when hopefully somebody is found accountable for taking Samantha away from her family. 3 children, another mother, 3 children, all mourning the loss of their mother. And these children didn't even get to bury her, say goodbye to her. Okay, so yes, thank you for that. If you've been watching, thank you for being subscribers. Please consider subscribing. Please like this video. Special thank you to my members as always. To anyone who's sent me a positive message, email, etc. Thank you to anyone who's PayPal'd me or sent super stickers. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. So as I was just about to go to bed last night, I saw this news, and it's really intriguing, I think, because, I know a lot of people have been getting really frustrated with the Australian police. But, we just don't know what's going on behind the scenes, do we? Because it's taken all this time, because this happened. You can see up in the right-hand corner there, that's Samantha on what's thought to be the last morning. She went out, she cleared up after her dog, and off she went on a jog. She was training for a marathon. And off she went, again, locally to where she lived, which is Ballarat in Australia. I'm going to show you where that is in a moment. And she went on her normal jog through the bush, through the trails, and she just didn't come home. And, a couple of hours later, her husband, Mick, started to get concerned. Why hadn't she come home? They had a family brunch planned. You know, and anyway, that's where it all started. He went around looking for her. First of all, no joy. So then he called the police. The police were out looking for her. The community were out looking for her. And they at first just did not find anything, any sign of Samantha whatsoever. And of course, in the first instance, they were saying, oh, no evidence of foul play, you know, like they do. Of course, everyone was looking a little bit sideways at Mick because he's her husband, and the husbands always get suspected, don't they, you know, in the lack of any other information. Anyway, then it all changed from the police. You know, I have a playlist on all this, all the details of of this case. Then it was all changed. It was, yes, they thought there were probably suspicious circumstances. Then they said, yes, there were definitely suspicious circumstances. They thought that she'd been targeted. They specifically called it a targeted attack. So I think what they were trying to say there was it wasn't an accident. And then the next minute they made an arrest, and they arrested this man, Patrick Oren Stevenson. Well, this was the photo that was released at the time. And Patrick Oren Stevenson, he's a local boy, another young one like Victor Hernandez in the Rachel Marin case, in his early 20s. A local tradie, you know, local to the area. His father's a bit of a minor celebrity. NFL, Australian Football League, he played for briefly. But, you know, no sort of, well, I say no previous offences because it turned out then that he actually had been arrested for smashing his motorbike into a tree, like while he was high as a kite sometime, but he was badly injured. No charges were ever brought. You know, I think he got away with that because he was an all-Australian boy. Now, since then, he has been taken to court for it. While he's been in prison for charged with Rachel's murder, he has faced those charges. So that's where we were then. Now, this is what he looks like now. He's a great big stocky bloke with a big beard. The last time he appeared in court, you're not allowed to show the photos from there. Otherwise, I would. I do have some photos, but I'm not allowed to show them. So I have to show the drawing. And he's got one of those big beards that go under the ears. Maybe he's converted to Islam, I don't know. Anyway, so he's been in prison. This happened. It was February the 5th, I think. Not last year, not this year, just, you know, this February. It was the February before. And, yeah, ever since then, I say, poor Samantha and her poor family, although they've been told, you know, in no uncertain terms by the police that they think that Samantha is dead, and they've obviously got reasons for thinking that. That's why they've charged Patrick with murder. Samantha's remains have not been found. And we were told that Patrick was being, unhelpful, uncommunicative in prison, that he wasn't helping with enquiries. You know, so a lot of people are wondering what evidence the police have against him. Well, we won't find that out until the trial, will we? But there'll be because it's coming up quite soon. So the police are under a bit more pressure, even more than they were before, aren't they, to find Samantha's body. Now, they did find Samantha's phone not that long ago. Well, it was probably quite a long time ago now. And her wallet, you know, with her cards and things. And they found those that looked like they'd been just tossed in a reservoir from a car. But still no sign of Samantha's body. So I did feel like when they found those that maybe they'd be nearer to finding her body. But anyway, it comes out now that actually at some point over the last year, Patrick Oren Stevenson was taken to the Canadian forest, where it's thought that where the police have always thought that Samantha was killed, and to have a look. So that's what we're going to talk about, and he's going to be taken back there again. So, you know, it's a bombshell, really, because as far as we knew, he wasn't cooperating at all. But now it turns out he was actually taken to the Canadian forest. Why was that? And did he go willingly? And apparently they're looking to take him again. So another thing is, why are the police announcing this when they've been quiet about everything else? There's a lot of speculation, isn't there, that somebody else might be involved. But of course, the police have said, no, nobody else is involved. But, you know, sometimes the police tell little porkies when they don't want to divulge what's going on in their investigation. Sorry. So, you know, we don't know. The police tell us what they want us to know, or what they want somebody else who might be watching to know. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, does it? Okay, so first of all, before we look at these news items that explain what's happened, I'm going to say hello to everyone. Hi, lurkers. Hi, you peoples who'll be watching on replay. Thank you for watching, all of you. Thank you so much, and especially for caring about Samantha. Oh, which reminds me, I'll light a candle if I can find my lighter. I've got this. My desk is so small, you'd think everything would be easy to find, but it's not. Here it is. Yeah, we'll light a candle for Samantha. We haven't lit a candle for Samantha for a while because we've not really had anything to say about this case. We've just been, you know, waiting for the trial, really. I think the last time we did an update on Samantha was maybe the anniversary in February. So, yeah, rest in peace, Samantha. Oh, I just hope that they are able to find her remains, because I know it's not much, but I think that does bring a lot of comfort to the family, knowing that she's not just out there somewhere, you know, to be able to bring her home, give her a proper sort of send off, say goodbye, know where she's resting, be able to go visit, etc. I do think it's important to a lot of people, you know, who lose loved ones, that they actually get to bring. It must be awful to sort of end up in a position where you never know for certain. You know, even cases where people are tried and found guilty, I think until, you know, the family have the actually have the body home. They call it home, isn't it? They say we're going to bring them home. I want to take them home, know where they are, not think they're just out there in the bush somewhere. So, you know, I honestly just pray to God, please, 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 God, that Samantha is found. But I think this looks encouraging, because if they're taking Patrick out there, is Patrick now deciding to talk as the trial comes up? That's the only thing that Patrick's got, isn't it, really? He has got that, you know, if he knows where the body is, it is a bargaining chip that he's got. Now, there's no death penalty on the table. There's no death penalty in Australia at all, I don't think. So he's not going to get the death penalty, whatever. So it's not for that. But it may reduce his sentence, mightn't it? If if he's found guilty, he must get a longer sentence, I'm sure, by withholding, you know, the remains, Samantha's remains from the family. Whereas surely, you know, if it's going to look that way, that he is going to be found guilty, that would help his case, if you like, his sentence, if he actually, you know, puts the family out of their misery and lets them know where she is. Anyway, now I'm going to say hello to people in chat. Hi, Daniel. Happy Tuesday. Hi, Pamela. Oh, so you're in Australia, 4:36 in Gosford, Australia. Oh, so that So the 4:36 a.m. Hi, David. Yeah, well, I was still up at 4:36, I think, this morning. Spanish, no, it wasn't quite as late as that. I think I went to bed in the end around 3 a.m. The thing with me is I'm normally in bed at 10 o'clock in the evening. You know, I'm not a night person. But if I do stay up, if I get past 11 and I'm still awake, I tend to get like what they call, if you know that expression, a second wind. I sort of liven up again a little bit. And then I find it difficult to get to sleep. So I can either go to sleep at 10, 11. But after that, if I'm still awake, I can sort of literally be up all night, and I don't know why that is, but anyway. So I did think about that last night, and do you know what? If I hadn't have had a little bit of vodka, I probably would have gone back on live. But I'm glad I didn't now. But anyway, so let's have a look at the first. So what do you think about this? Do you think he's starting to talk? Do you think he will talk? Some people don't think he's guilty. I personally do think he's guilty, because I just cannot see. Well, let me show you where it's happened first. I just cannot see that the police would have arrested him in the first place unless they had pretty compelling evidence. But, we don't know. So this is where we're looking at. Now, this is Ballarat. So Samantha lived in Ballarat. We look at it. Yeah, we can see Melbourne's here. If we look at the map of Australia. And this all happened around this area. We've got Ballarat here, and this is the Canadian forest. Mount Clear, I remember that clearly. I remember when we were looking into the case at the time, and the police were talking about, they seem to think that is exactly where she's been killed. Do you remember they were saying that? Mount Clear, they mentioned it specifically. And that, of course, is the Canadian forest area. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about where Patrick may have taken her body. If, in fact, he did it. Of course, he had transport. So, technically it could if he killed Samantha, he could have taken her anywhere to hide her body. There are a lot of mine shafts, disused mine shafts around that area, that take some searching. And there has been a lot of intensive searching done. But of course, the police have got the digital evidence, which hopefully, helps to sort of narrow down, because it literally is looking like looking for a needle in a haystack. But just statistically, murderers don't often actually take their bodies very far, mainly because they don't want to be caught with it. You don't want to be driving off miles, do you, with a body in your car? So, it is statistically likely that Samantha will be somewhere quite close to where she was actually killed. Now, this is where he lived, Patrick, Scotsburn. That's where he was arrested, wasn't it? So they have searched sort of around here as well. But anyway, it seems like they're concentrating again on this Mount Clear area. So let's have a look at one of the let's have a look at one of the news videos about it I've got here somewhere. Here we go. Just put the sound up.
Her murder. Mr. Stevenson has pleaded not guilty to that. There have been fresh developments.
Yeah, so remember, he's pled not guilty. He's appeared in court a couple of times, hasn't he? Well, not actually in court, by video link. But yeah, he chose a speedy trial, didn't he? So let's see what they've got to say.
In the case of missing Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy, with the man accused of her murder
taken to the site where she was last seen. Live to Today Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn. Christina was taken there under heavy police guard.
Yeah, that's right, Jane. According to the Herald Sun, 23-year-old Patrick Oren Stevenson was removed from his prison and taken to the Canadian State Forest under heavy police guard late last year. And it is understood that the missing persons...
No, that was late last year when he was taken by under prison guard. So we didn't know. This has not been mentioned at all. So it's just late last year, Patrick was taken under heavy prison guard from his prison. So, but we were never told about that, were we? So why are we being told about it this time? Strange, isn't it? You know, they've took him out there, and I presume he went willingly. And was he going to show them where the body was? Maybe he can't remember now after all this time. Thing is, we've seen we've seen Patrick after a night out. We've seen a video of him. He's sniffing cocaine. He's, you know, drunk. He's if it's happened when he was in that state, would he even remember where she was exactly? But you can see how difficult it is to search this area. You could easily just walk past, and, you know, not meaning to be to be go into detail, but after all this time, you know, they're not really looking for a body like it would have been in the first instance. You know, Samantha, unfortunately, if she's been out there all that time, be even more difficult to find her, won't it? So maybe he can't place where he left her. But wow, what do you think about that? I mean, it is a bombshell, really, to know that they have been out there with Patrick. Never released that information. I wonder if they told the family. I mean, you know, we don't have to know. At the end of the day, it's none of our business in one way. But it's amazing, I think, that that happened and they kept it to themselves. So now it turns out they actually have been out there with him. And I know for a fact a lot of my followers very frustrated with the police, feel the police haven't tried hard enough to find her, etc. So just shows you behind the scenes, it's all going on, isn't it?
Unit wants to take the accused killer to the same area for a second time. Now, we have contacted Victoria Police this morning. They say they will not be commenting on the story. 51-year-old Samantha Murphy was last seen in February 2024 when she left her Ballarat home for a jog in the Canadian State Forest, and she was never seen again. About a month later, Patrick Stevenson was arrested and charged with her murder. Mr. Stevenson has pleaded not guilty to that murder charge, and there is no suggestion he knows where the body of Samantha Murphy is. Police have conducted extensive searches in that area. There was a breakthrough in May last year when they found Samantha Murphy's phone.
Oh my God, was that May? May. It's nearly a year ago when they found her phone. God, where does the time go? Anyway, yeah, so it's important to remember, yeah, they're not saying he's still pleading not guilty. Just why are they taking him out there? And also, why did they not tell us about the previous time they took him out there, but they're telling us about this one? I mean, they're saying they don't want to comment, but they'll have leaked this. Obviously, no, you know, the reason this story is coming out is because the police have allowed it to come out, just as they didn't allow it to come out last time. You know, I think the Australian police have definitely, you know, manipulated all the news right from the start, from when right from when Samantha went missing, wasn't it? First of all, no suspicious circumstances. Then, yeah, maybe suspicious circumstances. Then definitely suspicious circumstances. Then arrested Patrick. You know, they been clever, if you like. They just release the information that they want to come out. So there'll be a reason why this information has come out. Just like there was a reason why they showed the videos of them finding the phone, etc. You know, it was a bit sort of, you know, they've quite often set up for whatever reason, they've sort of set up these this information that they've released drip by drip. And is somebody else involved? Are they trying to send a message to someone, I wonder? But anyway, we don't know. So all we do know is he was taken out once before, late last year, to this area, and now he's going to be taken back out there. So there's a reason for it.
23-year-old Patrick Stevenson has been remanded in custody while police investigations continue. Jane, that trial is set down for later this year.
There have been fresh developments in the case of missing Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy, with the man accused of her murder taken to the site where she was last seen. Live to Today Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn. Christina was taken there under heavy police guard.
Yeah, that's right, Jane. According to the Herald Sun, 23-year-old Patrick...
Strange, isn't it? Why are they releasing that information? This first thing she's going to talk about, this is late last year. This is not now. So why have they leaked that now? And now they say they're going to take him out there again. It's intriguing, isn't it?
Patrick Oren Stevenson was removed from his prison and taken to the Canadian State Forest under heavy police guard late last year. And it is understood that the Missing Persons Unit wants to take the accused killer to the same area for a second time. Now, we have contacted Victoria Police this morning. They say they will not be commenting on the story. 51-year-old Samantha Murphy was last seen in February 2024 when she left her Ballarat home for a jog in the Canadian State Forest, and she was never seen again. About a month later, Patrick Stevenson was arrested and charged with her murder. Mr. Stevenson has pleaded not guilty to that murder charge, and there is no suggestion he knows where the body of Samantha Murphy is. Police have conducted extensive searches in that area. There was a breakthrough in May last year when they found Samantha Murphy's phone. 23-year-old Patrick Stevenson has been remanded in custody while police investigations continue. Jane, that trial is set down for later this year.
See that TV show?
I see her.
Yeah. What do you think about that then? Strange, isn't it? You know, it just... Well, you know, it's all right for them to say... you know, there's no reason to think that he knows where Samantha's body is and he has pled not guilty, but just let's see what the Daily Mail's got to say, eh? Because even though it is a bit of a crappy paper, they do tend to know about things that are going on. Huge development. It is a huge development, though, isn't it? Let's see if they've got anything to add to it. No, I think they're just going to be repeating. Let's have another look at another.
The man charged with the murder of Ballarat mother of three, Samantha Murphy, has reportedly been taken to the place she was last seen alive. The Herald Sun newspaper reports Patrick Oren Stevenson was removed from prison and escorted under heavy police guard to the bushland area. Our reporter Abby Dinham has the details.
Late last year, 23-year-old Patrick Oren Stevenson was reportedly taken from prison to bushland near Ballarat as police continue the exhaustive search for Samantha Murphy's remains. Mr. Stevenson has pleaded not guilty to the 51-year-old mother's murder, and it is not suggested he knows the whereabouts of her remains. Searchers in the days that followed Ms. Murphy's disappearance on...
So notice they're at pains to say that. It's not suggested that he's aware of where her remains are, but obviously he must be. They must think he knows. Otherwise, why would they take him out there? Are they trying to rattle him, or, you know, why would they take him out there?
February 4 failed to uncover any trace until a targeted search uncovered her mobile phone in a dam south of Ballarat. A retired homicide detective has told 10 News First it's an unusual move for police to take Mr Stevenson into the bush during an ongoing investigation, but it could mean the case is moving forward.
Oh,
I take it as being a positive sign, one way or the other, either continuing to prove his innocence. It could work both ways. So, it's not about anyone speculating about what he may or may not tell the police. It might well be to assist him in his defence case.
He says the move would have required special permission from Senior Police Chiefs, Corrections Victoria and the cooperation of the suspect. Mr Stevenson is expected to face trial later this year.
yeah. Gosh, it is quite baffling, really, isn't it? We just got one more.
First up this morning, it's been revealed the man accused of killing Samantha Murphy was taken to bushland by police, where the Victorian mum was last seen alive.
Let's go live now to today's Christina Hearn in Melbourne. Chris, when did this happen?
Late last year, Sarah, according to the Herald Sun, 23-year-old Patrick Oren Stevenson was taken from prison under heavy police guard to the Canadian State Forest in Ballarat. According to this report, the Missing Persons Unit is keen to take him there for the second time as well. We have contacted Victoria Police this morning. They say that they will not be commenting on this story. 51-year-old Samantha Murphy was last seen February 2024 when she went for a jog. She left her home in Ballarat for a run in the Canadian State Forest and she was never seen again. Since then...
Oh, look, that was the barbecue. Do you remember Sausage Gates?
There has been an extensive police search, but there has been no sign of her body. 23-year-old Patrick Stevenson, about a month later from Samantha Murphy's disappearance, was arrested and then charged with her murder. He has pleaded not guilty to that murder charge, and there is no suggestion that he knows where the body of Samantha Murphy is. He is being held on remand while police investigations continue. And Sarah, that trial has been set down for later this year.
All right, Chris.
Okay. So really, let's go back to the map. That's all we know, really. But I do think it's very significant, personally, because the police have been so, secretive about everything. Why have they allowed this to leak? I mean, this has leaked because they wanted it to leak for whatever reason. Are they just trying to show they're making some progress? Are they trying to put pressure on either him or someone else? Or is he about to talk? Now his lawyer maybe has seen the evidence against him. Maybe he said to him, look, you're going to get found guilty, so you should say where the body is. Anyway, I just hope for the sake of Samantha's family that it does lead to, finding Samantha some progress. Hi, Joanne. Yeah, praying is about to talk. Because I always felt that he would talk eventually, but of course he's left it as long as possible. I mean, he hasn't spoken yet, so I don't know that he is going to talk. But, this happens quite often, doesn't it? So killers, they will wait right until the trial because it's like a little bargaining chip that they've got. Also, the longer that they don't reveal where the body is, the longer the forensic evidence gets sort of compromised, doesn't it? So, oh, well, I hope he is. I still think it's strange that the police have leaked this when they didn't leak it the last time, and we didn't know that they'd been out there with him before. They kept that to themselves, and now suddenly it's getting leaked, and also that they're going back out there with him again. So you feel like there's some manipulation going on there from the police, which fair enough. They're trying to get a conviction for this family. You know, at the end of the day, the police have to do what they think is right for the case, not, you know, to keep the public informed, of course. Okay, so I thought I would just let you know what's going on. It's like, you know, it's sort of, I've seen quite a bit of justice lately for some of the cases we've been following. I mean, Rachel Marin's killer getting found guilty is brilliant, and we look forward to the sentence for that. And then later this year, this trial will be going on. And will Samantha have been found by then? I certainly hope so. You know, for her family's sake. I think it's really important for them that she is found, you know, besides being important for the case. Yeah, there won't be much forensic evidence left on Samantha now, except her clothes, I suppose, etc. But, you know, maybe it will, maybe they will be able to find out actually how she died. You know, because they know a lot from the digital evidence. She was wearing one of those Apple Watch type things. And that's how they, I think that's how they decided that she was, had been murdered, was because of what had come up on her digital things. So, you know, they can tell a lot from all that, can't they? And apparently they've got unprecedented CCTV evidence, etc. Do you remember that's what one of the earlier court hearings, that's what was said, you know, that they had all this evidence. And I would just wonder, and I hope that the defence have now seen all that evidence, because the defence wanted time, didn't they, to go through it all. And maybe they have realised, you know, that they have got an airtight case, whether they found Samantha's body or not. So then it comes to a point where if he gives up Samantha's body, if he is guilty, and of course we don't know yet that he is, and he gives up Samantha's body, that will go be more favourable for him when it comes to actual sentencing. So maybe it's about that. I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but we'll see. Like Charlie said, you know, it may be for him that he's being taken out there. Maybe the defence that wants him taken out there for whatever reason. Maybe he's going to, you know, maybe he's come up on some digital thing and he's going to go there and explain why he was there. You know, we don't know, but I thought I wanted to tell you about it because it's an intriguing development, and there haven't been any developments in this case for a long time. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to go there. I've got some classes and that. I'm going to try and wake myself up. Another coffee is necessary, I think. Bit of breakfast. I hope you all have a great day or a great afternoon or a great evening, whatever you're doing. And, you know, please, please, please let Samantha be found, you know, for her family's sake. I hope they're coping okay, because they're just, you know, time just marching on for them, isn't it? And the Samantha's children, especially, you know, they've got faced like the rest of their life without their mum, and then so that's a big, it's a big weight on Mick's shoulders, because he's got to be like the mum and the dad really for them. So, okay, I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thank you so much, especially for caring about Samantha, and may your God go with you. Bye.